You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, it's Jessie. How y'all doing out there tonight? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. Now, I have stayed away from the Niger incident other than playing taps and reporting a few facts. Tonight, I am breaking my silence. And this for me is no easy thing. Because the Gold Stars just had to welcome a new member. It is the most wonderful, hated club in America. It is a club no one wants to join. But yet, this woman and her family will be welcomed with open arms. Why no one wants to join this club is a very simple reason. No one wants to lose a service member. And that is the only way to join this club. And it is a club I am a member of. For better, for worse, there is no changing it. Whether she wishes to associate with other families and people who have gone through it, that's something only she can decide. And right now, as it was for me, it might be too soon. Because this is still a very, very fresh wound. Now, I speak and I have spoken intermittently with people about my loss. And my favorite response, or my favorite way of putting it and explaining how I feel, is very simple. Enough time has passed that I now remember the happy moments, not the pain. Will I ever forget my first husband? The answer to that is simple. No. My show logo, if you've never looked at it, please do. It is my spouse's casket flag, my first husband's casket flag. That knock at the door is life-altering. Now, buckle up for your seatbelts, folks, because I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to discuss President Trump and the U.S. media. I did not receive a phone call at the time my husband died, from the White House anyway. I received calls from his buddies, the man to his left, the man to his right. I received calls from other spouses who had walked through this fire before. And I had about 6 people I leaned on during those dark days. And yes, they were dark days. There is nothing like meeting the casket of your loved one at Dover. There is nothing like it. It is something I cannot explain. And I will make no attempt to, because just like grief, every person goes through it a little bit differently. But you are meeting a plane, usually after dark, on a runway of an Air Force base. And you know that plane contains the last thing you ever wanted to meet a plane for. The body of your loved one. In my case, I wasn't even able to drive to the airport. Someone else had to drive me. Yes, I reached out to the wives community, and someone else sat behind the wheel and drove me those last few miles. They had also flown with me, held my hand, cried with me, and helped me make phone calls. Now, President Trump's words. He knew what he signed up for. These sting. But he did know what he was signing up for. He wasn't just standard United States Armed Forces. And please, do not take this the wrong way, but everyone who raises their right hand and takes that oath has a chance of coming home in a casket, but none more so than our special forces. And to that extent, I will say he did know what he was signing up for, but his wife may not have fully grasped it. Was he wrong to use those exact words? Maybe. Was he wrong to make the call? No. He tried. I'm going to say that he is human. And what human among us hasn't had a failure? It's just that for most of us, our failures are not broadcast across the nightly news. Our failures and our shortcomings are not the stuff that TV journalists long for. Please don't mistake this. I respect the office of the president, no matter who is occupying the office. However, most of us don't have the stress and pressure of knowing that the media is going to cover our every word, our every syllable, our every utterance as gospel. And that is unfortunately the position Trump finds himself in. knowing that his every syllable, every utterance, every action, and at times every dessert is going to make the evening news. That is not something I wish on anyone. Personally, I wouldn't want you folks finding out what I had for dinner tonight, or the mistakes I've made. I'm quite content with those being my own. Now, granted, I am not the President of the United States. I'm Jessie. And there is a difference, and I will grant you that. All I'm going to say further, because I could say a lot more, is that he tried. He did his best. And the fact that he tried, to me, speaks volumes. Because I've been the one sitting there helping the next Gold Star. That joined our ranks. And there is no feeling like this. There is nothing like holding a wife's hand, comforting a child, knowing that they will never see their father, brother, sister, mother, husband, or wife again. All right. As far as the Congresswoman politicizing it, he tried. And that's what I have to say about it. However, I will say that perhaps he shouldn't. Would I have appreciated that call? I don't know. Now, as to what happened with his body, why it was not located earlier, that is something I'm not going to speak about. However, I do have the words of General Dunford, Commander, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And I will let his words speak while I quite frankly pull myself back together.
On the 3rd of October, 12 members of the U.S. Special Operations Task Force accompanied 30 Nigerian forces on a civil-military reconnaissance mission from the capital city of Niamey to an area near the village of Tongo Tongo. Approximately 85 kilometers to the north was the location of that village. On the 4th of October, U.S. and Nigerian forces began moving back south. And en route to their operating base, the patrol came under attack from approximately 50 enemy using small arms fire, rocket-propelled grenades, and technical vehicles.
All right. That's the overview. Now there are more details, and I'm going to let you hear them again in his words.
So early in the morning of 3rd October, as I mentioned, U.S. forces accompanied that Nigerian unit on a reconnaissance mission to gather information. The assessment by our leaders on the ground at that time was that contact with the enemy was unlikely. Mid-morning on October 4th, the patrol began to take fire as they were returning to their operating base. Approximately 1 hour after taking fire, the team requested support. And within minutes, a remotely piloted aircraft arrived overhead. Within an hour, French Mirage jets arrived on station. And then later that afternoon, French attack helicopters arrived on station, and a Nigerian quick reaction force arrived in the area where our troops were in contact with the enemy. During a firefight, 2 U.S. soldiers were wounded and evacuated by French air to Niamey, and that was consistent with the casualty evacuation plan that was in place for this particular operation.
All right. So yes, there was a plan. Was it perfect? No. And you can talk to anybody who's familiar with battle strategies and tactics. And I can tell you, the plan only lasts until first contact with the enemy. Yes, I will say that much. The best laid plans only last until first contact with the enemy. So they came under contact. Here's the next audio clip.
3 U.S. soldiers who were killed in action were evacuated on the evening of 4 October, and at that time, Sergeant LaDavid Johnson was still missing. On the evening of 6 October, Sergeant Johnson's body was found and subsequently evacuated. From the time the firefight was initiated until Sergeant Johnson's body was recovered, French, Nigerian, or U.S. forces remained in that area.
Those men, trust me, I know their hearts. I know their spirits. Leaving one of their own on the battlefield is the last thing any of them would want to do. Leave no man behind is a sacred code. Now, I'm sorry, this whole topic has me a little choked up. You should understand why, and if I need to explain it to you, turn off my show or go look at my bio. I have been the one with that heart-wrenching news. Now, I'm going to discuss the media in this kerfluffle. How dare they? How dare they intrude on this woman's grief? What right do they have to hound her and try and get statements out of her before she has even laid her husband to rest? And yes, that is what they did. I could have so easily reached out to her because I am a member of the Gold Stars. I didn't. Not as Jessie. I did as another Gold Star. There was no request for comment. There was no, will you make a statement for my show? It was, I'm sorry you joined our club, but let me give you a hug. And sit with you a while. Whether she talked or not was irrelevant. It truly wouldn't have mattered. She could say or not say whatever she wanted. I didn't care. She was welcome to do as she wished. Whether she wanted to yell, scream, cry, it made no never mind to me. Her emotions, her feelings, and her way of dealing this are her own. Now what do I wish moving forward? Media, you got your 10-second statement. Now flip and move on and let this woman heal. President Trump, have someone write out a script for these calls. And make yourself a note card including the soldier's name or have the press release in front of you. That's not too much prep work. As far as the rest of you, if you are a member of the Gold Star Club, you understand. If you are not, thank both the soldier and their family the next time you see them out, because they all write a check for up to and including their lives. There is no differentiation. However, her husband was Special Forces and therefore had to work extra hard. And yes, that meant he was in a potentially more dangerous situation. But that's what we train Special Forces for. They get the best training, the best equipment, so that they can go do things that 1,000 men couldn't, or would be too big of a footprint. Now, it is about time for the commercial break, and yes, I'm taking it a few moments early, and I may even take it just a little bit longer than usual, because quite frankly, I'm going to need every moment to pull myself together to get on with the rest of the show tonight. And now you know why I have stayed away from this topic. This topic has ripped me to shreds from both sides. How dare the media criticize the spouse for not speaking out sooner? How dare they? How dare they hound her? That is not their right. Yes, all of you want to know. Well, guess what? Get over it. You don't get to know everything. You don't need to know what I think and feel. You don't need to know what I had for dessert. And let the first person who has never made a mistake be the first one to cast a stone at Trump for his attempt at comforting that widow. I commend him for the effort. A for effort, D for execution. All right, before I lose it on air completely, we are going to go take a commercial break. And I'll see you folks on the other side.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution and the citizens of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will obey the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
Yes, that is the oath sworn by every enlisted member of the United States Armed Forces. That is the oath of enlistment. And they all take it, one and the same. And I have mostly pulled it together. So now that I've had my say about Niger, I will be following it closely, both personally and professionally. Here's the sound you've all been waiting for. Show prep. And I've got a bunch of it. I'm sitting here looking at it going, why does it mean anything? But it means something. It all does. Sorry about that, folks. All right. We're going to discuss North Korea. Why? Because it is still in the news, and for some reason, the assassination of Kim Jong-nam, KJU's half-brother, has come back. He was assassinated, and a Malaysian court is trying to unweave a complicated web of deception, political intrigue, and cold-blooded brutality. A scheme allegedly cooked up by a network of North Koreans who have never, and almost certainly never will, set foot in a courthouse, at least not one outside of North Korea. And quite frankly, I'm not sure there are true courthouses in North Korea. Kim Jong-nam's face was covered with an obscure but exceedingly potent poison. By the time he got to the hospital, he was dead. The video that showed this merely scratched the surface. When Kim Jong-nam checked in for his Air Asia flight borne from Macau, his passport read Kim Chol, age 46. If it was an attempt to fool anyone, it was a feeble one. Kim Chol is the North Korean equivalent of John Doe. And despite some quick and seemingly pro forma protests and denials from North Korean officials in the days afterwards, it became apparent almost immediately the victim wasn't just any paunchy middle-aged traveler. Kim Jong-nam, who was 45 or 46, was the eldest son of late North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il. And he fell from grace when he was caught trying to enter Japan to visit Tokyo Disneyland using a false passport. Before 2010, we don't know if Kim Jong-nam or Kim Jong-un had ever met. Same father, different mother. So you guys have a scorecard. Kim Jong-nam was regarded as a luxury-hungry, tattoo-covered playboy well outside of the North Korean political power picture. On the fringes, he continued to be something of a potential threat. His ability to stay in Macau indicated he at least had some Chinese support because of his pedigree. Some saw him as a viable replacement if Kim Jong-un were ever to be removed from power. Rumors have it there were at least 2 previous attempts on his life. However, those mysteries aren't likely to be solved in this courtroom. The young women who face the death penalty if they are convicted are Siti Asaya, who is Indonesian, and Don Thi Hoang, who is Vietnamese. While Hoang wore a t-shirt emblazoned with LOL, laugh out loud, when she lunged for Kim at the airport, both women now wear bulletproof vests and handcuffs when going in and out of their court appearances. However, there is hope. Under Malaysian law, the women can't be sentenced to die if they didn't have the intent to kill. And that, essentially, is their defense. Both women claim they were quote-unquote lizard tails, the unwitting and expendable victims of an elaborate plot orchestrated by several men who convinced them they were taking part in a reality TV show, a comedy in which they would wipe lotion on the faces of unsuspecting marks, while the men recorded their actions on cell phones. They practiced the pranks on several occasions. Authorities suspect several other North Korean men played a role in the attack, but the 4 of them left Malaysia that same day. That includes Ri Ju-yu. He left after holding up at the North Korean embassy in Kuala Lumpur. Now, prosecutors say the women had to know they were handling poison. It's a banned nerve agent, manufactured for one purpose, to kill. It's called VX. It is a weapon of mass destruction. The prosecution also contends the women very deliberately rushed to wash their hands after the attack, indicating they were fully aware of the danger of the VX. No one really believes these women acted alone. However, the North Koreans recruited the 2 and supplied the poison. How the women avoided poisoning themselves is still a question mark. There is a second, lesser-known variant, VX2. And what it is, it's the VX is divided into 2 components that are relatively safe until mixed together on the target. But an expert witness has already testified that requires high temperatures and was not a practical option. So, who knows? Then there was the mystery Mr. Y, who was videoed wearing a black baseball cap carrying a backpack as he walked with Hung at the airport on the morning of the attack. Like I said, there are many things that may never come to light. There are many things that may never come to light. We may never know the full story. I can only hope that these women will not die for their part, for their unwitting part, what I believe was the North Korean assassination of Kim Jong-nam. That country has shed enough blood. More about Niger. I think I've had my fill of Niger for tonight, folks. It was terrorists that set up the ambush. Surprise, surprise. Now let's talk about North Korea's arsenal. No one really knows much about North Korea's conventional or military capability or its strategic agenda. Are its nuclear missiles reliably lethal? Are they as long-ranged and accurate as hyped? And are they under secure command and control? Conventional wisdom states that Seoul will be destroyed in minutes by at least 10,000 North Korean artillery and rocket batteries that are now aimed from right across the demilitarized zone. These guns are said to be capable of firing 500,000 rounds within a few minutes. This essentially holds South Korea and its allies as veritable hostages, with no strategic choices in countering North Korea's newly enhanced nuclear threat. But is Seoul really being held hostage, and would it be doomed? No one knows for sure. However, Secretary Mattis did indicate in a previous statement that Seoul would not be a ball of flames if we had to attack. China doesn't want a failed North Korea because they don't want reunification and a friendly country on their border. What they want is a country friendly to them on their border. Now, while North Korea is out acting a fool and blowing stuff up, China is working on their New Silk Road project. This is their attempt to become a major trade player. They also seek a larger economic and military footprint throughout the world. All right, folks. I have had a power outage, but thankfully I have taken the precaution and my router is on an uninterruptible power supply, so I should be able to finish the show. Albeit in the dark. China's desire to become more involved in the strategic affairs of the Middle East is essential to its implementation of One Belt, One Road strategy. The strategy aims to rekindle China's ancient Silk Road trade routes with Europe and Africa. It's drawn some concern from the United States. There are literally, you can find almost everywhere, you can find a product made in China. As far as trade between Middle Eastern nations and China, the price of transportation is going up, as well as the cost of insurance. But trade is still very prosperous. China's number one source of oil is Saudi Arabia, but it can vary by month to month. In December, it was Russia. It's ironic how Americans protest the 2003 Iraq War with no war for oil signs. And now Iraq's oil is actually going to China. What? You didn't know that? Yep. Iraq's oil is going to China. Alright, folks. I just don't have much left in my gas tanks tonight. Niger took it out of me, as did the previous weekend. So I'm going to beg your pardon and cut out just a little early, because quite frankly, I'm having to think whether I still want to be part of the media after the way they hounded this new member of the Gold Star Club over the weekend. She requested peace and quiet and to be left alone to bury her husband. That request was not honored. And nothing, not the words of the Commander-in-Chief, nothing has irritated me more than the way the media have pounced on this poor woman. She lost her husband. Leave her alone. I spent some time with her. I'm not going to tell you whether it was in person or over the phone, because quite frankly, that's none of your business. And as I said at the beginning of the show, it is the most hated but loving club. The members love each other and care about each other, but no one wants to pay the membership price, because it means you have lost someone close to you. Alright, no scream tonight, folks. We're going to go out with the same music I brought us back from break with. And I'll see you folks tomorrow, back here on Jessie's POV. As always, send your hate mail. I do read them all. Jessie, Jessie, at KLRNRadio.com. Or Jessie's POV, Jesses POV at KLRNRadio.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Jessie's POV. I'll be back here tomorrow night. And let's hope I've got a brighter topic and a more cheerier note in my voice. See y'all tomorrow. No scream tonight.
Put your right hand up in the air. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution and the citizens of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will obey the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.